to hear the voices of the revolution as he quotes his own Facebook posts and those of his friends and acquaintances. The posts are embedded in the author's reconstruction of events as they took shape on both sides of the revolutionary divide. Wynnyckyj never fails to indicate on whose side he was and continues to be, the side of the revolution. He is still engaged in the information war that began in 2013, rejecting the argument that Russian aggression against Ukraine was provoked or caused by NATO encirclement, and the portrayal of Ukrainians as mere victims of the geopolitical struggles of others. He stresses the local roots of Ukrainian developments and the agendas of their participants, debunking the notion that most of the protesters were ideological nationalists. Making sense of the events of the Revolution of Dignity, rather than recounting and commenting on them, is the main task of the second part of the book. The key question raised there is whether the Maidan and its consequences qualify as a revolution. Since the author answers in the affirmative, there follows a new set of questions focused on defining the kind of revolution it was. In both parts of the book, Wynnyckyj focuses attention on the local agents of revolutionary change, discussing the broader significance of their actions and analyzing them with the assistance of key Western texts on the essence and variety of revolutions. Like many books written in the previous century about the phenomenon of revolution, especially in Ukraine, this book begins with a quotation from Vladimir Lenin. But unlike books that became prominent during the rise of the Soviet Union and the Cold War, whose authors attempted to develop the ideas of the father of the Russian Revolution or draw on them to legitimize their own views, this one rejects Lenin's authority and seeks to chart a new course. If for Lenin, the revolution was first and foremost about class struggle and changes in political structure, for Wynnyckyj, it is about new ideas brought to life by revolutionary change. His main authority in that regard is not Theda Skocpol, with her focus on the transformation of societal and class structures, but Hannah Arendt, with her emphasis on the importance of ideas that lead to revolution and are further shaped by it. Wynnyckyj embraces Arendt's definition of revolution as a violent act in which the participants are driven by the pathos of novelty. He is no supporter of violent methods of revolutionary struggle, considering them tragic and highly undesirable agents of change. This is apparent from his account of events on the Maidan and his highly emotional description of his children's classmates, some of whose parents laid down their lives in the ensuing war. But he welcomes other markers of revolution identified by Arendt, as he recognizes them in the Ukrainian events, especially the desire to constitute an altogether different form of government, to bring about the formation of a new body politic where the liberation from oppression aims at least at the constitution of freedom. Wynnyckyj asserts that the revolution is in the process of realizing those goals. The events on the Maidan were only the beginning. The author regards the Revolution of Dignity as three revolutions in one: national, bourgeois in terms of changes to the economic and social order, and conceptual or personalistic. Unlike Volodymyr Vynnychenko, a leader of the Ukrainian Revolution of 1917, who wrote of his own experience as a rebirth of the nation, Wynnyckyj, an activist of a leaderless revolution, is ambiguous in defining the momentous upheaval on the Maidan, referring to it as a birth and rebirth. As he sees it, the revolution resulted from a protracted and regionally based process of Ukrainian nation-building. The new Ukrainian nation, as he describes it, is multi-ethnic and multilingual, not unlike the class of the Kiev school that his children attend. The national solidarity produced by the events on the Maidan makes the Ukrainian Revolution comparable to the American Revolution, and helps explain why the